Hello and welcome to the Oracle of Sound Crystal Healing Temple. My name is Heather Jean and I'd like to welcome you all here today with me for this particular talk on your spiritual heart being the key to self-love and freedom. Wow, that's quite a big sentence, isn't it? Like, what does that even mean? I've been working consciously in regard to building my relationship and my connection with my soul and with myself in relationship to the creator energy. And you may call that creator energy God, Goddess, Allah, Krishna, Buddha, universe, source, whatever you have for that one name of that one energy, the oneness that we are created in the image of. There's an opportunity for us here living on this beautiful planet as we are to connect deeply and build our relationship with that oneness as an extension of actually who we are, which is quite exciting really when you think about it, because that's, when you think about the creator energy or source and all that is, there's this unlimited potential of your soul and the experience of your soul that you have here on earth, here today, right now. And we are living, as you all know, in unprecedented times with what's happening around the world, where the whole globe has been redirected and guided back to their homes. And to me, our home always represents our hearts. And that place where we can rest, that place where we're safe, and that place that we call our own, so our own energy field. So externally, what's happening now is we've been told to go back inside our physical homes, the bricks and mortar or wood, whatever your home is made out of. It might be a caravan or a tent. But as the microcosm within the macrocosm, there's that invitation for us to reconnect again within ourselves to the spiritual heart of our souls, of who we are. So what is the spiritual heart? Where do we find that? How do we connect to that? Your spiritual heart is actually your presence. It's the very being in which you are. It doesn't live out there in the world. It doesn't live out there in the universe. You don't find it there. You literally find your spiritual heart when you find yourself in the present moment. Right here, right now. So let's all just take a breath and be present. Be present in this moment here together. And actively bring our minds back to this place of nothing, of being. When we sit in the now moment, there's no future, there's no past. There's just this opening this opening to the divine within. What appears to be outside of us or outside of our reach is actually who we are. And if we can surrender to the idea of that, we have an opportunity to love ourselves at a deeper level. If you think about the act of self-love, you know, there's many different ways that we can view self-love. We can see it as an external thing, loving the self. We can see it as an internal thing, loving the self. So you can pay attention to your appearance externally, internally, in relation to what you eat, the amount of rest you get, the amount of exercise you do, the amount of meditation you do, the amount of time you connect. You know, some of the healthiest people on the planet may not necessarily be spiritually healthy or in the way that they're doing all the right things externally and what they're feeding their body and the way they're treating their body, but they're missing that link. And sometimes it can come from even addictive patterns that we're not even aware of. When you start living in the presence of the spiritual heart, there's a natural order to things. There's a natural way that you respond. Because in this place of this now moment, there's this opening of connection to really the truth of what is in front of you. So instead of viewing it from the mind and our conditioned ideas and conditioned mind, we start to view from a place of the essence, the very being of who we are, and things are viewed a lot differently through those eyes. There's a wisdom in those eyes. There's an acceptance in those eyes of what we're seeing, not through judgment, but actually just through awareness of perhaps where that person has been suffering, or you know, that way of operating in the world isn't working anymore. Instead of blaming or creating theories or just, you know, having our own opinion about what's happening in the world, there's just this acceptance that everything is playing out. It's like you become the observer in the presence of love. You know, there's something I usually ask for myself, and particularly times where, you know, I might be feeling uncomfortable with a certain situation or whatever, or, you know, within my own judgments or my own criticism, either of myself or someone else or something else. It's always my prayer to see things through God's eyes and to hear things through God's ears and to speak with God's tongue. And with that prayer or that intention, there's a letting go of the ego mind, or myself identifying with the ego mind. It's not to say I don't identify with the ego mind, but I have the power to choose whether I want to identify with the ego mind or if I want to identify with the higher conscious mind or the God consciousness mind, or the mind of love, the intelligence of love. And it literally is actually a choice. That's the gift that we have as humans. We have this choice to identify with who we think we are, or to discover who we truly are in this. I just see it like a lotus flower inside of us, inside of our hearts, and it's magical, it's expansive, it's unconditionally loving. Imagine if you could look at a situation or a person who you love dearly, or that situation that may be out in the community that you don't agree with what they're doing, horrible things. Imagine if you could actually really truly see through the eyes of love. And meet that person or that behavior with the eyes of love. What that would do to change a person. Now, of course, everybody has their own free will and their own choice. But it might be that moment of unconditional love and sacrifice of the self. And when I say sacrifice of the self, I talk about what it is that you're really truly making sacred. What is it that you're going to honor? That sacred self. Because no matter what people do in the world, no matter how horrific and awful it is, every human being has a heart. And those people that may be living in fear, it's the suffering that they're caught up in. Just like you and me at times. We get caught up in suffering. And the one thing that we need in that time is unconditional love, compassion, and forgiveness. To truly heal, to truly love ourselves, to truly be free. We need to practice being present, practice being in the now moment, and practice seeing through the eyes of the Creator, seeing through the eyes of the universe, God, Goddess, all it is. Imagine their eyes are your eyes, their ears are your ears, and their mouth and what they speak is what you speak. We have an opportunity each day, many times in our days, to make choices on how we're going to respond, what sort of pressures we choose to put on ourselves. And what we invite into our lives. When we're wanting to make decisions in our lives based on something that's going to serve our higher selves and take us away from patterns or thoughts, or transform those patterns and thoughts that are not serving us anymore. There needs to be a surrender into this place of unconditional love for ourselves, to be able to truly heal. Because all of us here on the planet are suffering to some degree. It's interesting, you know, when you look at the world and what's happening out there in each country. And you know, with people responding, everybody's in the same boat, just at different degrees of the boat. They're at different places on the river, but we're all on that same river. We're all connected. We're all interrelated. We're actually all family. We're each other's human family. And I think the demonstration of what's happening in the world with COVID-19 is a demonstration of how connected we all are. It started somewhere, but it ended up affecting all of us in some way. There is no human being that has gone untouched by that, even though our lives my life really isn't disrupted in any way. I just operate my life in a different way. We're very adaptable. But maybe I wouldn't have been operating my life in the way I am today if this hadn't happened. I've put new things into place that I wouldn't have needed to before. And I suggest that's the same with you in your own life. So how can we love ourselves truly? Because when that comes into place, that real true love for that sacred self, that's the healing. That's where you can truly love another. And it takes a lot of practice, because in our conditioned way of being, we've been taught that loving ourselves is selfish, or, you know, they're up themselves, or high maintenance, or, you know, there's all these judgments on, you know, what these ideas that people have on you looking after yourself or not looking after yourself. You know, people are held heroes that have literally died from cancer, from disease, giving to others, not realizing that their life was equally important as others. We literally are all walking this journey on the same, or riding this journey on the same river at different places along the river. And that's how we help each other, isn't it? We help each other by sharing what it is that we've learned. And it's very easy to have compassion and love for others. Can you see other people as your own reflection? And it doesn't mean not to be there for people. I love being there for people. It's something that gives me a tremendous amount of satisfaction and love, actually. You know, it feels good to serve, and that's what we're all doing in our own ways. But you need to be in that same place of service as you're serving other people. Otherwise, there's an imbalance. And there's a part of the self that actually truly isn't loving the self. In fact, it's driving the self to exhaustion or breakdown or nervous tension, anxiety, depression, all of these, diabetes, cancer, all of these diseases of the mind and body can all be healed through a recognition of the spiritual heart within them, by letting go of the identity of who they are in the mind and allowing the identity of who they are to come here, back into the heart. If you take everything else away, you just are. Like there's no thing. Because at that time you've expanded into everything. So it's a continual reminder, really, isn't it, of becoming present with what's happening for you, being compassionate with what's happening for you, being loving with what's happening for you, and also forgiving yourself for what's happening to you. One of the beautiful prayers I work with myself personally to help assist with my healing is Ho'opono, the Hawaiian prayer, which means, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And through this prayer, we're dissolving those parts of us that are out of balance, that aren't in love, that are in fear. And we have the opportunity to come back to our spiritual heart, the presence of who we are, and love. In that place we're free. Free to love and be and play and dance and sing. But again, it takes practice, doesn't it? And it takes a really a big choice to really be compassionate with yourself while you're learning. It's like your children, you know, it's like yourself when you were little. You fall off the bike, probably a lot, and graze your knees and get patched up and get back on the bike again. It's like we're going to fall off, we're going to forget. You know, we go into mindlessness where we're asleep and then we wake up again and think, God, where have I been? Or how did I even see that? You know, something might have been right in front of your face, but you weren't able to actually see it because there was like an illusion, like a veil over you. And those veils are thoughts of consciousness, of DNA from generations past, and your own programming from this life. So it's this practicing of coming back to the spiritual heart, coming back to the present moment again, that really is such a self-loving act and will truly bring you freedom. This is actually what's healing on the planet at the moment. Uluru represents our spiritual heart, the physical representation of this physical heart. And as we are a mirror image of our Mother Earth, that is what is healing within us. The golden light within the spiritual heart, the highways and byways of multi-dimensional aspects of consciousness that you are there to be lived within your body now, through this connection, through building this connection. For those of you interested, I have a retreat coming in Uluru. We were supposed to be there actually in May this year. So we're obviously not, because the borders are closed. So that's been postponed now to October for new beginnings. I feel like the borders may just be open then. But going to places like Uluru, showing up for your spiritual practice, practicing the meditation with groups, it builds the energy and the frequency not only of the spiritual heart within yourself, but also in everybody else. Again, you are the microcosm in the macrocosm. What you do, what you think, what you feel makes a difference, not only to yourself, but to everybody else. And as each one of us come back to that connection, before you know it, we have peace on earth. And that all starts with you. So in saying that, we're going to do a small meditation. I've brought my harp here today. As some of you know, those who don't know, I do a beautiful oracle of sound healing sessions. I do group sessions and private sessions, and I train people in an accredited practitioner program with sound healing. And this beautiful harp, it's called a dream harp, and I made this. I'm so proud of it. When I hold it, I feel like I'm holding my baby. And I made this with an incredible teacher from Pulse Art Studio in Fremantle, Niz Witcherman, and it was through his guidance that I was able to create my beautiful dream harp. And on the back of this, so we had to think about a design, or feel into a design of what it was that we're creating. And something I've been working with myself is rebirthing creation. And so I've called this beautiful harp Rebirthing Creation. So I thought I'd play this for you today and take you through a meditation and play some of the beautiful alchemy crystal singing bowls. And the frequency of these bowls are, they're some of the purest frequencies on the planet. They've been created by a shaman from different gemstones and minerals, and each one has its own blueprint and particular purpose, just like crystals do. So they're living beings that you're sharing this space with, and so we'll see if any of them want to actually play with us today. So if you just make yourself comfortable for this particular meditation, you can lay down or sit up or however you feel comfortable. And I'm just going to play my baby harp and take you through a meditation deep into your spiritual heart. So just start to bring your awareness to your breathing. Breathing deep into the belly. And when you breathe breathe out with a sigh. Just let go of whatever it is that you need to let go. Any thoughts or ways of being that you've been hard on yourself lately. Just allow yourself this time to heal. This time's been created for you to heal. To spend some quiet time with your being, your spiritual heart. Just allow yourself to feel whatever's coming up emotionally. Let yourself release whatever it is you're holding in your heart. This is self-love, letting yourself be, giving yourself the time and the space to hear your heart. As you breathe into your heart, just tell yourself how much you're loved. You may have forgotten to tell yourself recently with everything going on. Life gets busy. Coping with the change. It's not always easy. Acknowledge that it's okay. It's okay for things to be a mess or wherever they are. It's all a part of everything falling down that's no longer serving you. When it's time for a new way, you'll be inspired. You'll be inspired by your heart. Until the inspiration hits, allow the mind to fall away. And let yourself be. Let yourself be love. And let yourself be loved. You're so worthy. And you're more than enough. What you do and who you are is enough. In fact, all you have to do is just be. That's enough. that you're going to be okay. This time will pass. Wherever you may find yourself today, you're dearly loved, more than you know. You're watched over. And you're safe in this present moment. You can trust in your heart. Just breathe. Remember, you are this love. Say it to yourself. I am love. I am enough. It's okay for me to be me. And know that it's perfect just the way you are. Even if you think you're in a mess, it's okay. Be kind. Be kind to yourself. Your heart knows the right way, even when your mind doesn't. Let your heart empty of pain and allow room for the essence of who you are, that love. Take a deep breath. I'm going to leave you in that beautiful space within your heart. Breathe in that love. Drink in the presence of your presence. You are truly loved. Remember this. Remember your light. Remember your breath when you worry. And remember your spiritual heart. Is the place in which you find the very essence of who you are, in connection with the Creator. Feel your beauty. Feel your love. Touch your light. Breathe. God bless you all. I hope you've enjoyed this particular transmission today. Please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Oracle of Sound, Heather Jean, or my Facebook page, or you can find me and all my offerings on my website, www.oracleofsound.com. Bye for now, and you are truly, truly loved. Thank you for sharing your heart with mine today. I'm truly grateful.